Everybody, it's your pal CaliAir here, and this is the Picking a Daisy show. I've been away for a little bit, just a little while, but been very busy. Been very picking a daisy busy at that. Um, First things first, I have, oh geez, over half perhaps of the CaliAir collection. This is not it, of course. Many more guns than this. But I have over half of the guns are going up on eBay. I say going up because it takes time to put these things up on eBay. However, I think I have about 10 of the guns up right now. And all of the guns that you see right here will more than likely go up. I say more than likely because I keep changing my mind. For instance, there's this Buck Jones, right? 1933, 34. Buck Jones with the compass. Check that out, huh? Compass with the sundial right on there. So, but I'm not going to change my mind. This one's going. And it was missing a shot tube. It works really well. I have another Buck that I tried the shot tube in this one, and it works great. And just a few minutes ago, I finalized a deal to get a shot tube for this, so I had to change the price on it, and it's now available with the shot tube, and it works wonderfully. The compass is a little sticky, still works, still moves around. It's the one with the needle. This came in two different kinds. The first one's with a needle. The second one's the whole thing moved. There was no needle. It was just a thing that moved. The compass itself moved around. That was a disc. That's it. It is a disc compass and not a needle compass. There we go. Said it properly. So this will be going up. I'm going to put these back here. A whole bunch of them will be going up. I'm going to actually show them to you right now. I'm going to put the best first. This is a Buzz Barton. It's a 1933 Buzz Barton. And if you look carefully, the stock on this is pristine. It is beautiful. And it's not original. No. This actually typically was walnut. I have another one of these. It's walnut. We replaced the walnut stock on this and put a cherry wood stock on this. Actually custom made from a plank of cherry wood, this stock, and it is just beautiful. This stock is beautiful. This was a project, a Buzz Barton project gun. It didn't look this good, but Dan, he worked on this gun and really got it looking about as good as it can look without stripping it and all that. We just polished off any of the rust that was laying on the nickel, and yeah, this is what we got. We actually replaced the aperture and made a very nice, reasonable aperture. The apertures that came with these were just a little too small for my liking, so I made this one a particularly a little bit larger aperture inside. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of these sort of barrel scopes with the apertures. Not a big fan. However, they probably are good for young shooters to help them line their sights up. Now, I up until now haven't been a big fan of how well these shot. However, this one has been, we replaced custom made leather seals for this, replaced the seals. And now it shoots really nice. I haven't chronied it yet, but I'm sure it's probably over 300 feet per second. So again, this is a 1933 Buzz Barton, Super Buzz Barton uh, Model 33 with a custom made cherry wood stock. So for some, this might be an attractive thing. For others, maybe not because it's not original, but it all depends on your tastes and your likings. This is a handmade cherry wood stock. Beautiful. Um, I haven't priced this yet. In fact, they're going up on eBay, and they are going up for the most part at a very reasonable competitive starting bid. I say the most part because they just changed the price of the buck to about $300 starting bid. I'll probably come down on that as soon as I get it all together. I bumped up the starting bid only because it's not all together now. It's going to take about a week or so for the shop tube to show up. So I'll probably pull it off of eBay tomorrow and then post it the following week once I have the shot tube all together on that. So I'm not going to show all of these, but I do want to give you some of the how shall I say, the featured guns that are going to be posted. Oh, let me not talk about these right now. This is the Commando, by the way. It's a pop gun that doesn't pop very well. I don't know if it's ever popped very well. There you go. It's a pop gun. All intact. And this will probably get listed over the next week or so. Let me show you some of the guns that are listed and that are really nice. This is a J.C. Higgins Westerner that was sold by Sears and Roebuck and Company when they were still Sears and Roebuck and Company. So that helps to date this gun rather well. Probably 1950s, 1960s, somewhere along there. J.C. Higgins. Really nice. This is an all black gun. So yes, you're seeing properly. It's an all black gun. It has bird's eye or slotted rear sight, flip up rear sight. This, I don't really think this is original, but I'm leaving it on there. That's how I got it. I don't believe this even took barrel bend, quite honestly, but it fits on there. I'm going to leave it on there. This is for a sling, and this is missing the screw eye. Probably find one. It really is just a screw eye that they used in there. Yeah, that could be replaced. If I find them, I'll probably put one in there. And that holds the sling from this point to this point. Yes, so there would be no need for this point. However, if you wanted to put it on this point to this point, which I probably would, then you can do so because I'm leaving barrel band on there. I really like this gun. The shot tube is only about this big. So, your accuracy isn't going to be very good at far out ranges. It'll certainly shoot out at 50 yards, but I don't know what you'll be able to hit at 50 yards. But more like 10 yards or something like that. Fun, even an indoor plinking if you have a little cardboard box, catch the BBs. Great little indoor plinker. This is a 32-inch carbine. Lever action. This is aluminum. Yeah, spent way too much time on the single gun. I just wanted to briefly show you these. But boy, this is up there, ready to go. Check it out. This is another one where it uses a sling. This is the screw I was talking about. There it is. That's all it is, just a little screw. that they put in. Well, this actually seems more like a U. And then this did have a barrel band that doubled as an attachment point for the sling. So this is, of course, missing the sling and the barrel band that would attach it. But this is called the Model 80 long rifle. And the Model 80 is, of course, the 195 Buzz Barton, which is really only the 155, which is really only the Markham 55 or something like that, right? So they really got a lot of use out of the Markham 55. And this was the last iteration of that. They called it the Model 80, and it was also called the long rifle. You could see that, but that's the long rifle. And this is plastic, still Plymouth though. So we're still talking 1950, 08 at the latest, maybe a little earlier. But this was the last of the rifles to come out of Plymouth. Very interesting, historically speaking. Now we have the classic of Daisy of all time, and this, you could say, this is the classic BB gun of all time. This is the model number 111, or rather the number 111 model 40. Some of you may know this as the Red Ryder. Now, the Red Ryder, there's millions. Oh, geez, at least what, over 8 million, something like that? Could be more, of these guns and variations of what is called the Red Ryder. The original Red Ryder was the number 111. Well, unless you count the 1938 that wasn't made until 1972, but that's a different conversation. This has the aluminum lever, but still the wooden accoutrement. Now, what makes this special, by the way, this isn't the original barrel band. I had to put a new replacement on there. But what makes this very interesting is that it's not the first. The first was made in 1940. I've shown you guys that one has the copper bands. But they didn't really produce a lot of those because the World War II came, and there was a shortage of metals. So they had to conserve metals for the war effort. So they resumed this gun after the war. They made this gun a wooden pop gun called the Commando. They made this gun after 1940. So in many ways, like I've said, this is the second variant Red Ryder, if you will. Although it's not really called that. That's just what I call it. But this is the one. 1947 is about when they started pumping these back out after the war. And they still had, they had to replace them with the aluminum levers, but they still had the wood. And this is the quintessential, because after this in the 50s, they started putting the plastic on, right? First in the front, then on the back, and then, geez, everything. Then now even the levers are plastic. So this is really the gun that was proliferated, or the original, right? This is the quintessential. Not really the copper band one. That would be more special, right, than the first model. But this is the quintessential one. This is the one everybody had, and then also maybe going in the 50s with the plastic foregrip. Forestock or foregrip? Let me know in the comments. Now, I have a model number 25 up. It's this one. And this is a 1940s, 1950s. I say 1940s because the etching, there's still etching. It isn't stamped on there like the 1950s. Yeah. So this really very well could be a 1940s upper. The barrel's blued, all the receivers blued, the lever arm, I believe, yes, is somewhat blued. I believe, yeah, it looks a little blued. So, but yet it has the plastic stock and pump handle. So this is somewhat of a mystery because the 1950s we didn't have this. Um, if I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments. This so I'm calling this 1940s 1950s model 22 shoots like a hurricane. Yeah, this one we're getting full compression out of this, about 300 or so. Um, when I say 300, we're dipping down into the 280s sometimes, right? Okay. Now, but not only do I have this model 25, but I have 25, the the model 25. Now, to me, the model 25 is the first model 1914, just for my preferences. However, usually when you're talking about a model 25, you're talking about this, the 1936 model 25. This has the etching, the wood stock, wood pump handle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6 groove instead of the 5 groove pump handle, right? A long throw. So yes, I'm putting this up. I'm putting this up so eventually I can, if I ever come across it, afford to get that first variant number 25. This is a great one. This is the first vintage gun I ever bought, and it's time to let it go. It's a beautiful gun. Shoots okay. Shoots well. You know, for the vintage 25s. It really is all about the shot tube, and I would advise any of you, if you're shooting vintage 25s, take the shot tube out and go buy a brand new shot tube, because the brand new shot tubes work in this, and it makes them a much better shooter. And yeah, and you'll preserve the shot tube. Um, if your shot tube happens to be an older gun, like 1934 or older, it's going to be brass, and it wants a large lead BB. So if you put a smaller steel BB, modern BB, in a brass vintage barrel, you're just going to destroy the barrel, and your accuracy will be no good. So you just save the vintage barrel for if you ever run across some good lead ammo, some old lead ammo that's a little bit, tiny bit bigger, right? Perhaps the 177 lead ammo may be okay. I'm not sure, but I do know that the old school lead ammo is really soft and won't damage the barrel. So just go get yourself a brand new shot tube. You'll be able to, you'll have a better shooting experience, and you'll be able to use the steel ammo with that. So this is the 1936 Model 25. That isn't up yet, but it's going up. Faux show. What do I have over here? Last one. This one, I don't think I'm going. This was going up, and like I said, sometimes I just have to change my mind. But I really missed. I bought a buck, but it wasn't for myself. A little Daisy buck, the new Chinese Daisy bucks. As you guys know, it was my favorite shooter. I just shot it every day, all the time. So, but I didn't buy it for myself. I was borrowing it. So I finally had to give that up. And all this time, I've been really missing the buck, the 105B. Some of you might have one and know Well, this is a 1960s 102 Cub. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is the 105, except it's got aluminum and steel trigger, no safety, painted barrel, wood. So all this time, and this is a great, very quiet, really good shooter. Not quite as accurate as the Buck, but close enough. So here it is. I had this all along. I was going to let go of it, but I've decided instead of going and buying another Buck, which are only like 17 bucks at Walmart, by the way, best deal in the world. Instead of going out and buying another Buck, why not just keep this? It's much more valuable, certainly more valuable than the new Chinese ones. Um, like I said, maybe not quite as good of a shooter, but good enough for what I want to use it for, which is to pick it up, fill it up with BBs, pick it up, and shoot away. Very small. Again, it's a 32-inch. I believe it's about 32 inches, about the same as the Westerner. Yes, the same size as the Westerner here. So it's a nice, small, compact carbine. Some people have a problem with the stock being short. And if that is a problem, you know what you can do? You can get a longer stock from a 102, or maybe from some other gun, and you could put it on here, and you'll have a fun. I don't mind the shorter stock. I'll rest it anywhere along my chin here, and the 102 Cub. This is the Daisy Heat on. And I'm not selling it, but I just wanted to show it to you and show how sometimes you got to be flexible, right? And in the long run, it'll save me money. I don't have to buy a 20 after taxes, right? $20. So I don't have to spend another $20 on yet another BB gun. I've got one right here. So that one's not going, but all the rest of these are going. All of them. This is the 1933 102 and 101 I have here. I got the 1936 102 and 101s. I have a 1947 155. Of course, I showed you the 25. I think I might even be getting rid of a couple Markham Kings. The 5536. Perhaps, yes, I think so. That's in there. So before I go, I often talk about the Chinese Model 25. I bought one of those as a nice, quiet, short-range backyard plinker. Fell in love with it. And I usually point that as the gun that started it all. But really, there was another gun that started it all. I'm going to share that with you. In fact, you may notice I don't have any more Chinese daisies. Well, it's a lie. Still holding on to a number 10 in a Christmas Dream 1938. However, other than that, no Chinese daisies. They're all gone. They're great guns, but if I have to get rid of any of them, it would have to be the more modern ones. And that's kind of how I'm letting these go anyway, is sort of going older, getting to the older guns as we move on. So, but all of the guns here are Plymouth guns. Except for the one I'm about to show you, it's not even a daisy, but it really is what got me started on daisies. And it's this one right here. You might have seen it off to the side. But this bad boy, yeah, this is a Benjamin Marauder, what's called a Woods Walker. They still sell these. I only got this a couple years ago when I first got into pellet guns. So pellet guns is really what got me into BB guns. Maybe it's for you the other way around. You're into BB guns and then moved up perhaps to pellet guns, but I feel I've gone from pellet guns and moved up to BB guns. I still love this thing. It's great. It's very functional. That's what I love about this thing, right? It's a 22 pellet gun, and it's a PCP that you can charge up with a pump, with a what looks like a bicycle pump. That's really a special pump for PCPs. This has a little flash going, right? And also a huge red dot. And this takes a 8-round cartridge. I don't know if you can see that in there. Has a nice folding stock. You can let me see. Yeah, I've forgotten how to take. There it is. That's how you fold the stock down. So really nice, and you can still shoot it from this position as well, from like a pistol position, or you can just pop it on out like a Mac Daddy, and have a hand available. So now, how would I go from this to the BB gun? Well, first of all, you're spending more time, as great as this is, you're spending more time loading it and you're spending more time charging it. Now, this could shoot out more than 50 yards, but that's typically what I'm shooting, is out at 50 yards with this. It's nice and quiet, but again, to hit something out at 50 yards, you don't need all of this. It's too much, and it takes too much to get to the shooting part. So what I've done, this is on safe, by the way. Um, that's what got me into looking for something that was a little bit more simplistic and something that would have me shooting more rather than loading more and charging more. So again, I love, this is a great gun. I love these. You might have one of these and you probably attest to what a wonderful shooter. It's almost a boring shooter. You simply just hit what you're aiming at with these things. Really great. But I prefer shooting over loading. And the Model 25 held 50, well, really 49 if you know what I'm talking about, but 50. You can get 50 if you cock it first and then put the shot tube in. All right, just a little side note. 50 shots. Man, I was like a kid in a candy store with 50. Are you kidding me? Every 8 shots, I had to stop and reload, or at least put a new clip in. Those are expensive too, right? So 50, man. And then if you got extra shot tubes, you could just take that shot tube out, put another shot tube in, and keep going. 50 shots. But then it occurred to me, those dang Red Riders and whatnot held a whole bunch of BBs. Not, I think this is about 650 shots, but a lot of the Red Riders, even the early Red Riders, held up to 1,000 shots. 1,000 shots. You understand? Shoot 1,000 times, or in this case, 650 times. So, yeah, it took me. It didn't take me too long from that point to realize the absolute superiority, let's say, of the Red Rider or any of these. I believe this is the 155. Pretty sure this is a 1,000 shot. It says it on there, does it not? Yes, it says it right on there. This is a 155. 1,000. If 650 ain't enough for you, how about 1,000? You load it, you cock it, you shoot it. You don't have to load it again. You just cock it and shoot it. You'd have to buy a Winchester to get that sort of satisfaction, and even then, it wouldn't be 1,000 shots. Think about it. So anyway, I'm CaliAir. This is the Picking a Daisy show, and thanks for joining me. I hope I had something of interest to share with you. And if you have any information that I may have left out or gotten wrong, please leave it in the comments. And let's see, anything else? No. I hope to do another show really soon here, and I'll also kind of let you know what has moved so far when it comes to BB guns and eBay. The early Red Riders, certainly the first variant Red Riders, and the early Model 25s, especially the ones with the wood. Those tend to go pretty quickly and at a decent price. So, there you go. If you're looking for some information regarding what sells on eBay regarding Daisy BB guns, there you go. The rest, you got the Buzz Bartons, which are real high, $400 or so guns if they're in great condition. A lot of these, we don't even know what the price on something like this, a Commando, would be, right? From 1942, 43, something like that, right? We don't even know. So, if anyone out there has any ideas, let me know. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining me.